Welcome to the 1 Million Cups Fargo podcast. 1 Million Cups is a free, nationwide weekly program created by the Kauffman Foundation in 2012 and is designed to educate, engage, and connect entrepreneurs. 1 Million Cups is organized in 35 states across the country, and the Fargo, North Dakota chapter is one of the most active and largest in the nation. We are so excited to be back from what was a bit longer of a hiatus than we expected, but this fall we were joined in person by Midwest internet personality Myles Montplaisir from Betcha. Betcha is a Midwest entertainment channel that loves Busch Light, ranch, and all things Midwest. Let's take a listen to what Myles has to say.
Hello, how we doing? I agree, Dots pretzels are very, very good. You can't just have one of those babies, I know that, especially when the beers are flowing, that's for sure. So yeah, this is a great crowd. Looking good, guys, even though it's a little chilly out this morning. So, as she said, I'm Myles Montplaisir, born and raised in Fargo, North Dakota here, and we have an internet page. It's always interesting when people ask me what I do for a living, and I just kind of say, you know, I make videos for the internet. That's about as good as my answer is going to get on that one. But we started in 2018, and really our mission was to create an entertainment channel for the internet that celebrated being from the Midwest, because I feel like a lot of people, especially on the coast, think that where we live is just some lame area that nothing happens in, and we still ride horses, and we don't even have the internet and stuff like that. And so really I was like, I think the Midwest is cool, so why can't we celebrate that and put that into videos and post about it on the internet and essentially make it cool? And so that's kind of what we set out to do, was try to make the internet, or the Midwest cool on the internet, and that's what we did. We started with a video in August of 2018. It was our first video to get 1 million views on Facebook. It was a spotted cow versus a Busch Light comparison, and the interesting part with that is that it's awesome to get your first video to hit, but then you're sitting there and you're thinking, well, if this is going to be an actual business, I got to do that again. I don't even know how I did it the first time. And so that's what we did. After we started, we get a first video to hit, and truly we spent a ton of time figuring out how can we make these videos keep hitting and keep hitting and keep hitting to grow our audience. And today, as I'm talking to you guys, I think I checked yesterday, and it was just on Facebook alone, we have 630 million views total in the last 2 years. Over 500 million. I like to throw the billion word in there. It sounds really cool. I wish at this point I could have said 1 billion, but maybe at 1 billion cups we can do that. And this is about entrepreneurs, right? And so a lot of people see the views, they see all the content that gets put out, don't necessarily see our business side of everything that we do. And one big part of our business is our merchandise. And what's crazy to me is by the end of Q3, we'll have done $1 million in just merchandise sales on the internet. And so for me, that tells me that we're doing something right in terms of branding, because it's not just about getting video views and getting people talking. It's building a brand along with it. There's a lot of video creators that do what we do that we collaborate with. And we always say, I got my team up here, we always say that the difference between them and us is that we have a brand and they have just their person, their personality, and their comedy page. And so really I think that our success has been really been a part of building a brand, and consistently I would much rather have 100 million view videos than 100 million view video, just because you can go so much deeper with a little bit smaller audience than having such a broad section and having no brand at all. And so Yeah, I think that for us, we talk about kind of where we are now, and kind of what the future is we're building a media company here in Fargo, and I think the biggest challenge for myself as an entrepreneur has been, how do I build this thing bigger than me? Because if I die tomorrow, You Betcha doesn't really exist as a company, which isn't great. And so I think that's one thing that as I'm speaking up here, we've had success, and that's why I'm up here speaking. But no matter what stage of the entrepreneurial journey you're in, you always have problems and things that you need to overcome. And that's one of ours right now, is we're trying to build more pages on top of the main You Betcha page because, like I said, you don't really have a business if it's just me personally. So that's kind of where we're headed for in the future, is kind of building a network and a media company here in Fargo. And, we're excited.
After Myles' presentation, he was joined by the host for the event, Emma McIntyre, who is also the league coordinator for 1 Million Cups Fargo. Let's listen in.
So we're going to jump into our Q&A portion of the morning. Sir, your coffee, very important.
How do you know that's coffee?
So every morning at 1 Million Cups, we do the speaker portion. And then for those of you who haven't joined us before, we actually jump into an audience Q&A.
I love it. I love Q&A.
Exactly. And let me tell you, they're super fun. So you're in for a treat.
Yeah, it's tough to read some of the faces with the masks on if they're having a good time. Everyone just looks like they're staring at me like this. Also, it's very I really got to crank your head up to see all the guys back there, but
oh yeah, they're doing some solid social distancing. So to kick off the Q&A, I'll start with a question and then we'll open it up to you guys. I'm curious, so you actually have a background in marketing before you jumped into the You Betcha game. I don't know if that is what you call it.
You Betcha game?
You Betcha game. So before you jumped into doing You Betcha, you worked in marketing. How did that play a role in starting your own brand around this whole Midwest life?
Yeah, so I think that for us, it was what the internet requires is that you learn it just like you learn any skill. Just like she learned to play the guitar, you need to learn to post on the internet. I know it sounds weird, but basically what happened is me and another guy named Alan had a marketing company. It was just us two, marketing company. We did freelance stuff for businesses in town, and really we didn't really make any money doing that. You know, we paid the bills, and that's about it. But the amount of reps that we got for doing, we each having to shoot and edit 15 videos in 1 month, gave me all the reps and the foundation to understand, what content people are going to want to watch, because then we got to post them and interact with them on social media and all that stuff and keep clients happy and all that. All those reps really are a good foundation for what we are now in terms of just learning, and getting reps. And it's weird because as an entrepreneur, there's not like you can't go work out and then get better like you can in sports, right? So if you start viewing some of the stuff that you are doing every single day as reps to build your business stronger, I think that's really what was the advantage of doing that before doing this, for sure.
Awesome. Sweet. Now we're going to open it up to the audience. Do we have any questions?
Yes.
So we asked, just for our internet audience, what's been your favorite video that you
Yeah,
made?
so one of my favorite videos that we've done is a video that we actually shot here at Island Park, full circle here. It was called The Midwest Bachelor, and basically it was a parody video on if someone from the Midwest was the Bachelor. Really parody, but the final rose ceremony was in the gazebo over there, and we shot it right before COVID hit, I believe, and it was freezing cold out. But I think that was part of the allure of the video. So that was really fun to do. I think I cried in that video. I hadn't done that in a video yet, so that was fun, for sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, he asked how he deals with social media, positivity, negativity on your videos that you post.
Yeah, and you say that the social media ticker, I think that our team can attest that after we post a video, most of the time, for the first hour, I can't do anything at that point. but for whatever reason, it makes me feel better if I just watch all the comments and if we're getting any shares and all that stuff. But what I think is a good point to that is a lot of that is feedback as well. So seeing the first comments, seeing people's first initial reaction to the video helps us make better videos in the future. But in terms of positivity and negativity, on our page at least, it's 99% positive stuff. The negative stuff, I do like to respond to the negative comments once in a while with something like, how does it, did that feel good to get all your pent up personal anguish out in our comments section? Are you good now? It's just, you almost feel a little bit bad for anyone that actually takes time out of their day to comment something bad on your page. It's like, you have problems, I got problems. Let's just all live together.
John.
Hey, John. It's very easy to collaborate. So what he was asking about is I got a buddy named Charlie Barons who also does what we do. And we get together often, it's probably going to be around every couple months now from here on out. And we just do internet videos together. And it's very fun. How that ends up happening is there's always, everyone on the internet has a little bit different audience. And so why wouldn't I want to get my stuff in front of another audience? And so we've done stuff with Trevor Wallace. He's the guy who back in the day did the White Claw video, the Kyle video. I don't know if you guys know who that is, but and then some other guys, like we do stuff with Dude Dad. He's a guy who is in Colorado now and all of that. And so the collaborations are really getting different eyeballs from different audiences, and I really love them because it's actually, because most of the time it's just me in the videos and I'm talking to my imaginary friend most of the time. And if you guys saw us shoot a video, you'd be like, this is very underwhelming. Thank God for editing and cutting it together because it makes it work. But yeah, honestly, he's one of the funniest guys I know. He's a comedian. He truly is really good at what he does. I know that when me and him turning the camera on, Tyler, our camera guy, probably doesn't like this very much, but we don't really have to script much. It's mostly just fly by the seat of our pants and something good's going to come out. So, yeah, it's really fun to do the collaborations, for sure.
So I know you have your team with you today. Can we give them all a round of applause, guys? Do you not mind standing up so we could give you a cheers? Yes.
They're actually supposed to be at work. I don't know why they're here. Honestly, I asked them, why are you guys not back home working?
So we don't have a lot of internet personalities speak at 1 Million Cups, as
Yes.
you can imagine. Can you share with the audience maybe a common misconception about being a internet personality in Fargo, North Dakota?
The biggest misconception is that we are just a bunch of friends laughing and running through fields together, making funny videos all day long. There is a lot of hard work that goes into what we do. And I suppose we could work less hours, but then we'd get less views and we'd make less money. And I think that's maybe a little bit of a problem for us as we work too much. But, like last night, I was there till 11:30 p.m. Streaming last night, and mostly not because that's really making us money right now, but I know that on Twitch and streaming, we will grow an audience, and someday, instead of having 200 people watching us on Twitch, we'll have 2,000 and then 20,000 people. And so it's really about putting in the hours. And I think that's one of the things that people don't realize is not only how many hours that I work on this machine, it's also all these guys as well. And the other day I asked them, hey, maybe we should all just have like a personal day every month. And they told me, they're like, well, then I would just be thinking about all the stuff that I got to get done here. So let's not do that. I said, that's fine by me. So I think it's really the hours that goes into it, and the thought that goes into every single video is something that I think is a big misconception for sure.
This next question coming up didn't quite get picked up by the mic, but the audience member asked, where is the line drawn between copyright and parody laws with the Busch Light brand?
I do not know. Anytime that someone asks me, like, how can you do that? And I don't even know if this is true. I just say, I think it's parody law. So we kind of joked that, we're always waiting in the mail for one of those cease and desist letters on some shirt that we did. What's nice about the Busch Light stuff is that we have a good relationship with the Busch brand, and we've gotten permission to put their stuff on our shirts and all that, which is cool. Especially because they pay all this money for these lawyers to trademark all their stuff, and then they're just letting us do it for free. So I don't know, but yeah, the merchandise is fun because we get to it's a different type of creativity, creating designs and figuring out what people are gonna like. Fall's coming around, so we got to get a fall color palette going for the merchandise, which just is something that's completely different. But yeah, it's fun. It's fun for sure. So great question. He's wondering about basically brand deals and advertisements. So a big portion of our revenue comes from Facebook, YouTube, Instagram ads. So that's actually, we don't have to talk to the brands at all. They pay to run ads on Facebook, and then those ads go in the middle of our videos. And so that's a big revenue source for us. Then there's a merchandise that's a big chunk. And then just recently we have gotten into what you're talking about, basically sponsorship brand deals. What we did is we hired an agent, and so he's just spends his time trying to find the right brands for us for the right money. And we'll plug them on our podcast. We'll include them in our videos. We'll put them on our stories, all that kind of stuff. So we hired an agent mostly because I don't have enough time, and this guy could sell, way better than we could. So we figured, let's give him a commission off of the brand deals, and he can get us 10 times as much money. So that was really our move there, is just hire an agent, and then he worries about that, and we'll worry about putting out good content. So that's really how we get in touch with brands.
Next up, Myles answers the question on whether Betcha has a contract with the Anheuser-Busch brand.
So we don't have anything official with Anheuser-Busch, which I'm a little bit okay with. We could have, we probably could have by now, and I'm sure we will in the future at some point. But the amount of clamps that they put on someone that you got to do a brand deal with them is not great. You really got to watch what you say, and they kind of have control over what the content looks like. And I think that the death of an internet page is when someone else is telling you what to say. And that's part of the reason why I started in the first place, is that I can say whatever I want, good, bad, or otherwise. So, yeah, I'm sure at some point we will. But right now it's just a nice, friendly handshake agreement that they'll scratch our back, and we'll scratch theirs. So.
Our next audience member asked Myles his tips on starting a brand and a YouTube channel.
Okay. Very saturated thing. So it's going to be, I'm telling you right now, this is going to be tough, but that's okay because that's why you're doing it, right? You wouldn't do it unless it was tough. What I would say is you need to put zero judgment on your content until you put it out and you know whether people are like it or not. The first video that we posted that got 1 million views for the first time, I held on to that video for 2 weeks because I thought it was an okay piece of content. And if I'd have just posted it, we'd be 2 weeks further ahead, and maybe we'd be to 631 million views instead of 2 weeks ahead. So I would say that you got to remember that right away you have 0 followers, and so it kind of doesn't really matter what content you put out. So just try a bunch of different stuff, throw a bunch of different darts at the dartboard, and by doing that, you'll get something to either get close to the bullseye or you hit the bullseye. And then when you find that in, you can start to fine-tune it in and find the content that you should be posting, for sure. Just don't judge yourself on it, because you'll do a piece of content and be like, I don't like the way my voice sounds. It's like, well, you won't care about it in about 15 videos. So, yeah, I would just say just go for it and post as much stuff and as different variety of stuff, and you'll find something in there that works.
Mason.
No, I've been bashing Yeti products, yeah. I actually had to check to make sure this wasn't a Yeti product when I grabbed it.
Who do you think we are?
Yeah, I mean, they sell a $40 bucket and a $30 lid, so you're 70 bones deep, and you could get it for free at Menards, you know. No, they have. I mean, they're probably benefiting. I mean, people are still going to their website to look at, like, do they actually sell a $300 lawn chair, which they do. And then they're probably looking at the other stuff and buying something else anyways. So, yeah, I kind of joke that, you know, we have a good following, but I don't know if we have good enough following to really for them to even say anything to us, because I think that I saw something that they did $1 billion in sales last year. It's like kind of makes me a little bit nauseous a little bit, but you know, we talk about our brand. They have done a phenomenal job with their brand, and that's why they are where they are. So, and when I do bash Yeti, it's not because their products don't do what they say. It's just the amount of money you're paying to get for what they say it does is just way too much in my mind. So that's where I'm at.
Next up, Myles answers the question on what is Betcha's #1 social media, and what is a social media platform that they would like to grow and expand on in the future.
So our #1's Facebook. We have 1.7 some million followers on Facebook. Our second biggest is actually TikTok. We're about 5,000 followers away from 500,000 followers on TikTok. And then it's probably Instagram, YouTube. Those are kind of around the same at like 300 and almost 400,000 followers. Twitter is tough. I mean, we're a video page, and Twitter isn't exactly geared towards video stuff. And, you know, we got 35,000 followers there. You know, there's social media outlets, I'm sure, that are smaller, that are a little more niche, but I think we've done a pretty good job of hitting all of the main ones. And that's a great question, because I talk to these guys all the time. They're like, well, you know, should we focus on Facebook for this new page that we're starting? I'm like, well, yes, but you got to post everything on everything else, because just because you like Facebook doesn't mean that a member of your audience doesn't love to consume their media on Instagram or Twitter and all that. Like, we got 35,000 followers on Twitter, which in comparison for how long we've had it to the other pages is very small. But we post on there every single day, and takes time out of my day because I know that there's an audience on there that pays attention to what we say. And so not creating friction between you and the audience. And there's people that are like, okay, well, I'm going to push everyone from Facebook, Instagram, all that to my YouTube channel. And it's like, well, how often do you guys click through something on Instagram to go watch a YouTube video? Not very much, but you'll watch a video natively on Instagram. And so that's why we kind of try and post everything on all platforms, because we're just trying to create as least amount of friction between us and our audience, for sure.
Awesome. We'll do one last question. Does anybody really, really want it?
We can do both of these questions, can't we? Yeah, we'll do both.
Okay, we'll start up here.
You go ahead.
The next audience member asks, where does the inspiration for the videos come from? Whether it's personal experiences or creative brainstorming sessions or stories of friends, where does he come up with his video ideas?
Yeah, I think the answer to that's all of the above. You know, where I spend most of my time in a small town bar is when me and my dad and my brothers and cousins go pheasant hunting down in South Dakota. There is a hole-in-the-wall bar down there that is the bar that I was thinking of on that bit. So really, it's about pulling from personal experience as well as observing other people. Like, you know, if I really sat down, I probably could do a whole video about what it's like to be at a networking event. And you guys would all be emulated into that video. So it's about observing as well as personal experience. And then another thing, too, is paying attention to what's going on in culture. So one of our best videos on Facebook was a boomer dad versus a millennial dad. And when we posted that, that was when the phrase boomer was probably at its height. And so paying attention to culture and how it's going to affect the videos and what people are paying attention to is a big part of it as well. And paying attention to memes and basically taking memes and put them into video form is a style that we go for as well. So I think it's just all of it combined. And you never know, you could be up at 2 a.m. watching Netflix and the idea pops in your head, and next thing you know, it's got 20 million views on Facebook, and that's just it's frustrating as an entrepreneur because you want to systemize everything, but sometimes you just can't. Sometimes it's just kind of a random thought that will spur something. So, yeah.
Our last audience member question of the day asks Myles on whether he finds the differences challenging between a program like Twitch, where you are streaming and live, versus a program like YouTube, where you are filmed and edited, and what are the different challenges for those various platforms?
Yeah, so I think that so Twitch has been awesome. I love on Twitch, and for those that don't know what Twitch is, basically it is a social media platform where you live stream yourself playing video games. And for those of us that grew up playing video games, it's pretty cool to be playing video games as my job right now. But what I'll have to say is that it can get very exhausting because last night I streamed for 6 hours, which is the longest stream that we've done. But the only reason why I was streaming for 6 hours is because I kept losing, and I was like, I can't end on a loss. And so it can get emotionally draining at times, mostly just because I'm competitive. But I really love doing the live Twitch stuff, mostly because whatever you see on Twitch, like, that's just who I am as a person. I'm not really doing much other than trying to get under Ryan's skin a little bit by, tell him that, why are you wearing your beanie like that on your head? What's the point? Aren't you supposed to cover your ears, Ryan? And then he gets mad, and then I end up winning. So, but the acting thing is also, like, sometimes people forget that the YouTube page and the Facebook page is that I'm acting, and they're coming at me as a person when really this is just a parody of the rest of the world. And so I really like doing both, but the Twitch has been fun lately because it's just yourself playing video games and screaming at the TV and wanting to throw the controller like you were when you were 12 years old. So, yeah.
Awesome. Well, we ask one question every week as our final question at 1 Million Cups, and that is, we have 121 people here today. We counted. What is one thing that everybody in this audience can do to help you and your team in the work that you're doing?
I think that, well, kind of the joking answer to that is when you're watching a video, if you could watch it all the way through the ad, that'd be great. My accountants would like that. But the serious answer is that, number one, if you think that the video's great and love it, sharing it to your friends always helps us. But I think that for me as an entrepreneur, it's that, and this is going to sound so cheesy and I hate it, but that if you're the thing that would put me on is you guys all leave here today and you start your YouTube page, and someone that's on the fence of starting to post content goes home and says, all right, if this guy who's wearing cowboy boots and wearing a sweatshirt to this event can, amass 600 million views in a matter of 2 years, like, I can at least get 10,000 views. I can get 100,000 views. And so if someone goes away today with the confidence and the idea that you can do the thing that you are thinking about doing, because I was there at one point. I talked to my friends over and over and over. I got this idea. And then Ryan's like, Myles, just shut up and put your money where your mouth is and just start posting content. It's going to suck at first anyways. So just get the sucky part over with, and then you can move on to the good stuff. So really for me, it would really put me on fire if you guys, if something good came out of this, that someone started posting content, and if we could get someone to start a podcast and have it blow up, and then we can bring you onto the team, that'd also be really great. We're looking for more podcasts.
Brilliant. Awesome. Let's give him a big old round of applause, guys.
Thank you, guys.
And that's it for this week's 1 Million Cups Fargo. Thank you so much for listening in. 1 Million Cups Fargo is powered by Emerging Prairie, an organization dedicated to connecting and celebrating the entrepreneurial ecosystem. We'd also like to thank the following sponsors for their support: Midco, the City of Fargo, Pro Resources, Fargo-Moorhead CVB, the FM Area Foundation, and Kilbourne Group. See you next time.